Hey, my amazing people, and welcome back to today's session. I'm very, very excited to share something with you today that I think maybe it might help you in one way or the other as you go through the course of your life. And I believe that each and every one of us are leaders in our own right. And as time goes on, we begin to find ourselves in position of management or leadership or anything that has to do with people. So any organization that has to do with people calls for management. And it is important that you build the competence and the capacity to be able to lead so that when you get into an organization and you lead, there should be an element of improvement while you are there. And that is why these things are very, very important to us so that we learn them. As time goes on, one day you find yourself in the position where this thing is needed. So I bet you that this video is going to help you. Kindly watch to the end, like this video and share with somebody that needs it. Let's go on. Now today I want to share something with us called the Robert Blank and Jane Bolton's managerial dreams. Now these are two great people in their research for how managers are supposed to lead or how different managers lead in an organization. Is talking about what actually leads to leaders producing more result, less result, minimal result, or no result at all, and how leaders relate with people in the aspect of relationship and tax. When you are in an organization, one of the major things you must strike a balance between is your relationship with your staff and then the tax that you want them to accomplish. You don't want to be in an organization whereby, yes, you value relationship very well, but you make the relationship to become too casual in the sense that the tax that the organization is supposed to carry or to fulfill is not coming through. That is definitely going to affect the longevity and the productivity of your organization in the long run. Also, you don't want to be tax oriented in the sense that the only thing that connects you and your people is you want them to achieve result and nothing more. So when you continue to do that, you almost look like a bully that does not care about his people, and all he cares about is how he can get result from his people. So these two guys came together and produced what is known as the managerial range, and this is how it is. Now, if you can look very clearly here, this is a graph, and on this y-axis we have what we call the relationship behavior, and on this x-axis we have what we call the tax orientation. So the tax orientation is from 0 to 10, and also the relationship behavior is from what? Is from 0 to 10. Now these two people make research and come together. They say, okay, these are the reasons why some organizations succeed, progress, achieve more, and these are the reasons why some organizations does not succeed. So what they are actually trying to tell us here is how managers need to strike a balance between relationship and tax in their organization, such that these people are not depleted of energy by working too much, and also they are not given the luxury of casual relationship, and our tax are not being made. Now we have 5 different kinds of managerial results based on this guy's research. Now, number one, we have what we call the exertion of minimum effort, which is also known as the impoverished manager. Now, I will start with this. The impoverished manager is a person that value relationship with his staff at a minimal level. That's at a minimum level, and also give them minimum tasks to accomplish. Now, this is a kind of organization whereby you go into the organization, you find out that the way the manager relates with the people is very minimal. It's not that much. So you relate with them minimal, and at the same time, he give them what? Tasks to accomplish. When you get into an organization, this is the way they behave. The only thing they know is, good morning, how are you? Fine, thank you. They pass. There's no more relationship between you and them. The only thing is the relationship is just a very, very slim line between you and them. So they offer you little relationship, and as such, they sometimes get afraid, or they sometimes do not feel comfortable asking you for more, because they really know that they are not that too connected with you. They don't know how you behave. So let me say something. They are sometimes afraid to be able to talk to you. So they give you little relationship, and they also give you little tasks to do, or at the barest minimum, they will leave you to do what you were told to do without adding any extra in order to achieve the maximum you can get from your tax. So they value little relationship and then also tax. Anything you can do is just do. They are okay with it. They don't have problem. Those are what we call the impoverished manager. They never make organizations succeed, because they don't exert effort in putting people to do what needs to be done, and also they don't value relationship enough to be able to invest their time in people to get the best out of it. Remember, I said we need to strike a balance between relationship with people and also the tax it gives to them. So an impoverished manager is definitely a wrong kind of managerial skill. Now, the second one is what we call the satisfying relationship, also known as the country club manager. If you can look at the location of this very particular manager in the graph, you find out that this type of manager values relationship at about 9, which means he gives them more of relationship. He's a kind of a casual person that allows good relationship. How are you? How is your family? How is everything? Are you okay? They are very good in relating with people. In fact, they value social association very well, but they don't actually push for tax. They are very good in relating with people, but they don't know how to ask people for commitment and to be able to ask people to give them their best and be able to produce results from the tax. They are meant to give these people in the company in order for the company to achieve something at the end of the day. So you see, their aim is to be able to satisfy everybody by relating with them randomly and holistically, which is not bad by itself, but then they refuse to balance it with what the tax that these guys are supposed to be doing in the organization. So thereby the organization becomes a country club whereby it's more or less like a social ground, but there is no achievement at the end of the day. Why? Because this type of manager values relationship. He wants you and him to be on a good note every single now and then. But when it comes for commitment in the organization to be able to produce results, this type of manager does not push it. Why? Because he is thinking that if he pushes for tax to be accomplished, he's going to lose the relationship he have with you guys in the organization. So this type of a manager is not the right kind of managerial skill you need to imbibe on. And that is why we call them country club. The organization is just like a social ground, social gathering, and social club for everyone. So a country club manager is definitely a very wrong type of managerial skill. I hope you are getting guys. Now let's move on to the third one. The third one is what we call efficiency in operation manager, which is also known as tax manager. This one is just like a tax collector. This one is after results. He does not care how you are feeling. He does not care whether you are in good health. He does not care about your personal challenges. He does not care to know more about you. His own is, good morning, how are you? I'm fine. Oh yeah, have you done that assignment? Oh yeah, bring it to my desk. Who do I need to call? When it comes into an organization, all he cares about every single time is the tax at hand. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you accomplishing the tax at hand. In fact, which is the major reason why the organization was in place. But then, when you begin to look cold on the feeling of your people, on their personal challenges, and you're not able to relate with these people on a personal level, or at least at the barest minimum, to be able to know some good things about them, their whereabouts, their welfare, then it becomes a problem for your organization in the long run. Anybody that works in this type of organization will tell you that that place is work every time. They don't know anything. They can't give you break. Even if you're sick, it's work. So people outside will be saying that this organization is producing very good results, but they don't know that their staff are actually suffering because the welfare of their staff are not being catered for. So the organization may be performing best, but the welfare of the staff are not being catered for. So this type of managerial skill is good. You are actually doing pretty a good job in accomplishing your task. However, you are doing a bad job in relating with your people because your relationship level is just 1, but your tax level is 9, which means you are more of tax and less of relationship with people. Now, this is the quite opposite. This one is more of relationship and less of tax. And that is why, it's supposed to be 9.1, which means it's more of relationship and less of tax. So between these guys, this one is what is words and opposites. This one value relationship in the organization, but give them what? Little tax to perform, and the organization is dying because tax are not being accomplished. Whereas this one value tax very well, and the company is thriving, but yet the foundation of that organization, which are the people in it, are actually dying. And just a matter of time, the organization will also die at the end of the day. Now that's what we call efficiency in operational manager. You just need to balance the task and the relationship, and then you are good to go. Now the next one is what we call adequate organizational performance manager, which is also known as dampened pendulum manager. If you can look at the score of this type of managerial skill, you find out that it's having 5-5, which means task orientation of this manager is at 5, and then the relationship he is able to build with his people is also at 5, which is fair enough. And that is why it's called adequate organization performance. At least he's able to balance the relationship he has with his people with the task. He's able to give them at least relationship to some extent. They'll be able to know each other, relate to each other on a day-to-day basis. But he does not just give them the relationship, he gives them tasks that are also up to the relationship he's giving them. So it's a kind of good relationship, good performance. It's not really bad, and it's not even up to what other people are expecting or exceeding your expectation. But at the barest minimum, they're able to work to live in a good time with these people and also achieve a substantial result to a certain degree with these people. So at least if you come to work, you know that my boss is casual, my boss cares about me, and he's also asks me to work when I need to work. So he does not just care about you and make the organization to become a country club, but he also cares about you. But when he comes for tasks to be done in the organization, he also give you the tasks you are supposed to do to produce something substantial in the organization. And this type of managerial skill is a good to go. Are we together now? Now let's talk about the last one, which is what? The work accomplishment is from committed people, aka team manager. These are one of the best managerial skills you can have in the world. Now this type of managerial skill, if you look at it, is 9.9, which simply means this type of manager have understood the dynamics of people in the organization and is able to balance relationship with tasks. He gives high attention to relationship and is in good time with his people, and also he is able to achieve more results from his people, which means he cares very, very much about his people, their well-being, their welfare, whether they are doing well or they are not doing well, incentive, salary increment, bonuses, a kind of good gesture that makes the organization to look very, very sociable. But at the same time, they are very strategic and structural in their work, in the sense that they ensure that the task that the organization is supposed to achieve, the organization is achieving a very good amount of tax. And that is why you see they have high rates of tax in the organization, but at the same time, they value their people very well and they are in very good relationship with their people. If you ask me, what are the type of managerial skill you need to look at, is you need to look out for this type of managerial skill and this type of managerial skill. If you are this one, you need to make a change. If you are here, you need to make a change. If you are here, you need to make a change. So at times, all we need is what is just a balance between relationship and the tax we have with our people. So it is good you have relationship with your people, at least associate with them, be there for them, show them that you care for them, let you be in good relationship with them. But at the same time, when it comes for tax to be accomplished in the organization, make sure that you structure this in such a way that they are able to achieve the tax that the organization is able to achieve. So basically, this is what Blake's and Mont's managerial grid is talking about. I hope this will help you guys in your day-to-day activities, anywhere you find yourself as a manager. I want you to always put this at the back of your mind so that you don't give little relationship and little effort where you don't achieve anything. And also, you don't make your organization to become a social club and there's no result coming out. And you don't make your organization to become somewhere toughy, whereby too much of tax and less of relationship. But be able to at least balance your relationship with your people with tax, and also give them good relationship and good tax so that you can balance the two sides together. I hope this video adds value to you guys. If it does, kindly like this video. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section. And most importantly, share with somebody that needs to know. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you.